Being short is your greatest advantage in dating. Now, just for context, I'm about 5'7.5", and I have zero problems attracting women. I'm gonna just show you guys a few screenshots of what women text me on a daily basis, right? I do cold approach as well. I do really well with that. I wouldn't say I'm like some master at cold approach, but I do very well for myself, and I do well enough to actually be able to coach men on this, right? To coach men with their dating lives and their self-improvement. But one thing I've realized is that a lot of short guys give up on dating because they have like this limiting belief thinking that it's just over for them. So what do I actually mean when I say that being short is your greatest advantage in dating? How can it possibly be your greatest advantage? If everyone tells you that, oh, you're short, you basically have a disability, right? Women don't like short guys. Well, if that's the case, then how am I able to see the results that I see? How are all of these short guys, is like every good-looking woman that you see on a daily basis, is she walking around with like this tall 6'4" type of guy? No. So this is what I mean when I say that being short is your greatest advantage of dating. Let's just get the elephant out of the room first. If you are short, but you don't take care of your physique, you don't take care of your looks, you have bad habits, and you walk around with this mindset of like, oh, I'm short and therefore I'm at a disadvantage, then yes, your dating life is going to suck. You are going to struggle to talk to women, and women will be, quite frankly, repelled by you. That's just the facts. But on the other hand, if you're a man who's short, right? And when I say short, I'm in the US. So for us, short is usually around under 5'9", right? That's around the average height in the US. Under 5'9", you're on the shorter side, okay? If you're a man who's short, you have, yes, is being short technically not ideal? Yeah, you can say that, right? It's called short for a reason, right? Do women tend to prefer taller partners? Yes, I agree with that 100%. But here's the thing. Because you were put at this disadvantage at birth that, once again, you had no control over, by the way. You had no control over your height, right? It's not like you did something and now you're at fault for this. No, you were born. That's the genetics that you were blessed with by the Almighty. So what you must understand is this is a blessing from the Almighty, from God, from the universe. Whatever you believe in, this is a blessing. And here's why. Because now you have so much fuel, so much adversity that was placed upon you to get better. If you know anything about self-improvement, it's that men improve the most. Men tend to see, especially if you're an ambitious man, someone who's actually constantly trying to get better and better, the times in your life where you see the most growth, or the times in your life where you had the most struggle, the times in your life when you went through the most pain. So if you literally at birth were given all of this struggle, given all this pain because you are shorter than average, consider it a blessing, because now this is all the fire and the motivation you need to take full control of your life, to max out yourself to your max capacity. Right? Because here's the thing, bro. Adversity happens to all of us. Pain happens to all of us. Life happens to everybody. Doesn't matter if you're 6'5" or 5'5". You're gonna go through some sort of pain and struggle as a man. So if the pain that you went through is something like being short, is it really that bad? Right? Consider yourself blessed that you weren't born with, like, God forbid, both of your parents just like dying at birth, right? Or like when you were very young. If that happened to you, I'm so sorry, right? But what I'm trying to say is that there are such more extreme cases of pain and adversity that a lot of men had to go through in order to become better versions of themselves, that being short is just like, it's like nothing. And I'm not here to tell you that, your limiting belief and like your views of you being short and like your experience as a short man is invalidated. I'm not here to tell you that, bro. Maybe you got brutally rejected because of your height. Maybe a woman treated you the wrong way. Maybe you even got slapped in the face for that, right? Because all three of those things actually happened to me, all right? Except for the slap in the face one. Never got slapped for being short. But I did get brutally rejected, right? This was a while ago. And I did get treated a certain way because I was on the shorter side, especially when I was younger, right? I'm talking about like middle school and like the first year of high school. And that's when I really experienced it. But ever since then, ever since I refused to ever let my height stop me from improving myself as a man, I've never had a problem with being short. In fact, my last relationship, right, it was a rotation, but one of the girls was taller than me. And I've been with plenty of women that were taller than me, right? The tallest girl was around, she was a woman, but she was like 6 foot, maybe even 6'1", really tall woman, right? No problem with it. And it was because I didn't let myself get incapacitated just because I'm short. I didn't let that stop me. In fact, I used it more as fuel. Because I know that, yeah, you can't be short and fat, bro. You can't be short and skinny fat. You can't be short and have a shitty physique. You can't be short and be broke. You can't be short and have no charisma. You can't be short and be ugly. I agree. I agree, bro. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle because at this point, bro, you have no other choice. You have no other choice. What are you going to do? You have three options. Three options, right? Number one, you get that height surgery, okay? And then you're not even going to be able to walk normally. And it's still going to be an insecurity in the back of your mind because you never actually conquered that in your mind. So even if you do get the surgery, you're a couple inches taller, you're still going to be that insecure little man in your mind. And you know that, right? That's why you haven't even gotten it. Number two is accept defeat. And you're basically going to be like a cuck watching all the taller guys and all the short guys get all the women. Because let's not act like short men aren't out here with beautiful women, right? Let's not act like that doesn't happen. You see it every single day. So you can be a cuck. You can watch everybody else go after what you want in life. Not just the women, but the opportunities, right? That physique that you want, the job that you want. All of these things that you're kind of holding yourself back from because you're telling yourself, oh, I'm short, so I don't deserve this. Or this isn't meant for people like me. Or option number three, where you can understand that, yeah, I was given this disadvantage. I was nerfed a bit, right? But maybe you were nerfed for a reason. Maybe the reason why you were nerfed is because you have so much more to you as a man and you're capable of so much more that, hey, listen, if you were 6 foot and above, you just like, you would be completely dominating the game, right? So, you know, the universe, God, he had to bring you down a little bit because he knows you're capable of so much. So now it's up to you. It's up to you to understand that and to actually take the action behind it. Actually unlock and finally see that potential that you have within you truly, right? And here's another reason why it's actually one of the greatest advantages that you can have in dating in particular is because you can get women if you're tall, you can get women if you're short, right? Do taller guys have an advantage because they're tall? Yes. But here's the thing. A lot of guys, it's their mindset around their height that actually dictates their dating life. So for example, a tall guy is tall, right? He gets complimented on his height throughout most of his life, right? And because of that, he has a high ego, right? And because he has a high ego, he has more confidence or whatever it may be. And so he goes after more opportunities with women. He's not afraid to approach. He's not afraid to put himself out there. He does what he has to do to get the dating options that he wants. That guy is definitely going to have an advantage. He's definitely going to probably do good. But there could be a tall guy out there who he knows he's tall and he thinks that that's all he needs, right? He's like one of these guys that thinks that, oh, life is all sunshine and rainbows after you're like 6'2", right? Every single year it's a new standard. They used to be 6 foot, right? Now we have guys who are literally 6'2", insecure because they're not 6'4" and 6'5". Make it make sense. And every year it's only gonna get worse. Every single year. You think you're insecure because you're short? Bro, there's a man out there who's 6'2", who's upset that he's not 6'4", who's not 6'5", and he's telling himself, oh, I can't get women, I can't do the XYZ because I'm not tall enough. Even the guys who are tall are thinking like this. I guarantee you that. And I know because I work with some of these guys. I've coached men who are 6'4", 6'2", 6'3", with their dating lives. They come to me, a 5'7.5" tall man, for help with their dating lives, because clearly being tall isn't the end all be all. But the tall guy who thinks that just because he's tall he can get any woman that he wants, just because he's tall he doesn't have to work on other areas of his life, that's one who self-sabotages. And that's one who can, quite frankly, he will be an incel. Because yeah, especially when you're a teenager, you get more props for being taller. But the older that you grow and develop and mature as a man, and you're out here in the real world where there's more to your attraction, what actually makes you attractive as a man, you tend to realize that there are more things that make a man attractive than just your height, than just even your looks. There's so much more to you. There's plenty of insecure tall men. There's plenty of tall men who can't speak to women. There's plenty of jacked guys who can't speak to women, right? So you must have it all. You must have it all. You must have it all. And the only way you're going to have that motivation to have it all is if you go through some sort of adversity, is if you go through those brutal rejections. So thank the heavens. Thank the heavens that you went through whatever you went through because you were short, and use it as fuel to get better. Use it as fuel to make more money. Use it as fuel to get in the best shape of your life. Use it as fuel to start dressing better. Use it as fuel to improve your looks, improve your face. Not any of the extreme looks maxing procedures. Don't be a weirdo, right? But get a nice haircut. Still take care of yourself. Don't just throw in the towel, right? Don't just throw in the towel because you're short. Because you could literally, if you're short right now, you could lose to another short guy who's going to take the girl that you want simply because he was willing to go after it. He was willing to put in the work regardless. Because if you're going to throw in the towel, then like, I don't mean to get very dark on this and I don't want to, get banned off the platform, but then what's the point of life? What's the point of even living if you're just going to give up? If working on your physique is cope, if looks maxing is cope, if all of these things that these guys who are obsessed with height, they say that it's cope because women like automatically disqualify you if you're short. If that's your mindset, then what's the point of even existing, right? What's the point? You can't have that sort of mindset if you want to win. And if you made it this far to this video, I guarantee you probably want to win. You have something within you that you know that it's possible for you. And I'm telling you this, listen, I'm not the shortest guy out there. There's plenty of guys shorter than me. But listen, I even recognize there's guys who are shorter than me. I know guys who are 5'5", even one guy who's 5'4" who gets more women than I do. And I'm a dating coach, right? Well, men's self-improvement coach, but a large part of what I do is dating help, right? I help guys truly master themselves by working on their habits and their presentation so that they can have the dating life that they want. So they're not limited by these sort of limiting beliefs that they had growing up of, oh, I'm not tall enough. Oh, my race. Oh, my looks. Oh, XYZ. I help guys overcome these limiting beliefs and actually have a dating life of abundance with not just any woman, but high quality woman, feminine woman, nurturing woman, the type of woman that you really want to be with, that you actually want to attract and retain. That's what I help guys with. And just real quick, guys, if that's something that interests you and you want to work with me personally one-on-one in my coaching mentorship, where we're going to help you go from wherever you are right now, and we're going to create a custom game plan to get you to having the dating life of abundance and becoming the type of man that's not limited by his height, that's in the best shape of his life, that has the girl of his dreams. And that's something you want personalized, tailored help with by me as your coach. There's going to be a link in the description that I want you to hit to book a one-on-one call with me. We're just going to learn a little bit more about your situation, run you down on how the program works, and see if it actually makes sense for us to work together, right? So that option is always there for you. Or you could just keep watching the content and really start taking those steps yourself. And that can also be an option, right? But if you feel like you've put in the work, you've tried to get in the gym, you've tried to improve your looks, you've tried to take nice photos, you've tried to master your habits, it doesn't seem to be coming together. And if you want to take it to that next level, you want a deeper level of help with this so that you can truly conquer the one thing that you struggled with for the majority of your life or for the past 5-10 years, then that link is for you, all right? But listen, guys, back to what I was saying. If I would have let my height stop me, I would have never been in the position I am now. I would have never been coaching guys. I would have never been living in New York City, like having my dream career, right? I would have, it's insane. I would have been like some sort of Reddit type of Discord moderator looking type of guy. Like I would not be on camera right now speaking to you guys, right? And it kind of saddens me to see a lot of these guys who give up on themselves because of this. But the way I like to look at it is it's natural selection, right? It's natural selection. There's always going to be the guys who impose and get obsessed with their limiting beliefs, and they let their limiting beliefs stop them from going after everything they want in life, right? They have those bottlenecks in their business. They have those bottlenecks in their relationships, bottlenecks with their fitness. They always hit those plateaus. They always hit those ceilings that they can't see through, break through. And it all comes down to you, bro. It all comes down to the way you identify as, your self-image. That's why with all of my clients, I work on recreating the image that they have set for themselves. Because this identity that you have right now of being the short guy who can't attract women, of being the short guy who life just keeps throwing him around, who can't excel to the next level in business because of whatever you were handed with when you were born, you need to recreate that identity through taking the action, the daily steps, and integrating the type of systems that I speak about on my channel in order to truly step into this new identity of yourself where you can have the business that you want, right? Keep excelling in that. Have the career that you want if that's what you're doing. Be in the best shape of your life. Date multiple women or have one loving girlfriend who aligns with you and your values, who loves you for who you truly are, who isn't looking to the next tall guy, right? Because quite frankly, you don't even want to be with a woman who only wants a guy for his height. Like, it makes no sense, guys. It makes no sense to have this sort of mindset because it's like, even as a man, yeah, do men prefer probably like a bigger ass, bigger boobs on a girl? Yeah, sure, we do. Majority of guys prefer that, right? Just like, yeah, majority of women probably prefer a guy who's taller than them. Yeah, but preferences are just that, preferences. You understand? They're just preferences. Just because you want big boobs and big ass on a girl doesn't mean that you're not going to be willing to go for a girl who has a big ass but no boobs, or vice versa, right? You're still gonna go with her if she has other qualities about herself. Like, that's not gonna be the end all be all. Oh, she has a really nice body, that's why I'm gonna be in a relationship with this woman. Like, most men don't think like that. Successful, rational men don't think like, oh, she has a really nice body, so that's why I'm gonna get in a relationship with her. Even though she's, she's miserable, she's not feminine, she's masculine, like she does all of these things that I don't like. Oh, she has a nice body, I'm gonna cuff her anyway. I know there's some guys that do that, but if you're a rational man, you're probably not thinking like that. So you must understand, women have the same type of mindset, right? You don't want to be with women who are that shallow. Are there some women that will straight up disqualify you because you're not a certain height? 100%, but those are not the type of women that are for you anyway. There's women who are made in this world. There's 4 billion women out there. You think there's not beautiful, attractive, feminine women that want you for who you are? And I don't mean, when I say want you for who you are, I don't mean the version of yourself that you are right now. The version of yourself that keeps blaming your height. The version of yourself that's not in the best shape that you want to be in. The version of yourself that still has bad habits, that still beats off. The version of yourself that doesn't take care of his appearance. That's not willing to put himself out there. That's still too afraid to speak to a girl. I'm not speaking about that version. I'm speaking about the version of you that let go of all those old things and stepped into that best version of yourself. You think there's not a woman out there that is willing to look over the fact that you're short for all of those other amazing qualities that you can have? Of course there are. Of course there are women like that. And you know it deep down. That's why you made it this far in this video. So that's my message for you guys today. Once again, the link is there in the description if you want to book a one-on-one call with me for personalized help. Right? If you want to keep watching more content, or if you want to just reach out to me directly, ask me some questions, there's also a link to my Instagram. You can shoot me a DM, watch some of my content on there. We have a conversation, learn a little bit more about your situation, and then we'll go from there. But I'll see you boys very soon. Make sure to like, subscribe if you like this video, and stay dangerous.